Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's goal setting. So, when we talk to our investors, we often talk about our investing goals. Do we want to invest for the short term or the long term? Do we want to invest for cash flow or appreciation or both? And while those investing goals are very important to consider, what's also just as important is the life goals that you're going after, and they're very related. So, what I mean by this is, what do you want out of your entire life? That's a big question, but it's also so important that we take the time to really consider this. And, folks, listen closely. Most people spend more time planning a birthday party or Christmas than they spend designing their lives. So, take this hour and really give this to yourself. This is an exercise that you can consider doing periodically, but this is the new year, so take the opportunity to really get a great start to the new year. So you're going to take an hour, and before that hour, you're going to make sure you're feeling great. So whatever you need to do to feel great, whether it's exercise or go for a brisk walk or dance to your favorite song, whatever you need to do to feel great. Make sure you're hydrated and well nourished. So now you're feeling great. You're going to write down everything you could possibly want in life. So don't overthink this. I'm going to help you through it. And for you analytical folks, don't worry about getting everything. Just keep the momentum up. Give it a good go. So we're going to talk about what you want to have, what you want to do, who you want to become, what you want to learn, and who you want to help. So it's not just next year, it's everything for your whole life. The big things, the little things, the tangible and the intangible. Start with the stuff, the material objects, the boats, the cars, the houses, the gear, the maybe you want a plane, maybe you want a fishing boat, maybe you want a fleet of Range Rovers, maybe you want a private island. Maybe you just want to buy a ton of land so that you can conserve it. Whatever it is, think big. And remember this, take the lid off your brain. Imagine that if you write it down, you'll get it, which is not outside the realm of possibility. So write it down, because what that does, just the simple act of writing it down, triggers something called the reticular activating system. And that's the filter in your brain that subconsciously filters out what it thinks is most important for you to focus on. And let me give you an example. You're not thinking about your feet right now, but because your brain is filtering out all the things it doesn't think are important for you to focus on. But now that I mention your feet, you're thinking about your feet. Or another example, you buy a car and all of a sudden you start seeing that car all around town. Were those cars there before? Yes, they were. So writing something down, bringing attention to it, it begins a process of your brain subconsciously working on your goals. So you'll be so glad you took this time to design your life. It's not just the stuff. Let's talk about money. How much money do you want in the bank account in 3 years and 10 years? How much money, how much passive income do you want in 3 years and 10 years? What do you want your net worth to be in 3 years and 10 years? Just write it down. Don't worry about it. Just actually take the lid off your brain and write it down. Now, what do you want to do? Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to get a PhD. Maybe you want to go to Antarctica or the Galapagos. Maybe you want to sail around the world with your kids. Maybe you want to do an Ironman triathlon. Just write down everything. Let your imagination go wild and don't let the pen leave the paper. Also, write down what you think you want to learn in this lifetime. Do you want to, this is your whole life. Do you want to learn a language? Do you want to become a musician of some sort? Do you want to become an artist of some sort? Do you want to learn a martial arts? Do you want to become an inventor? Just take the lid off your brain. What do you want to do? It's your whole life. And as you're writing stuff down, don't stop and analyze it. You got to have a lot of energy behind this process, and you don't want to get caught up in the analytics of it. So you've written down everything you want to have, everything you want to come, and everything you want to do, everything you want to become. Like, do you want to be the best spouse in the world? Do you want to be the best daughter in the world? And now we're going to write down everyone you want to help in the world. So, do you want to help your parents in some way, or your kids in some way, or the community, or an organization that you care about? Or do you want to help um, kids in developing countries or women in developing countries? There's so many ways to contribute in this world, and it's now is the time to write it down so you can make it happen later on down the line. So that's part one, the brain dump. And we're going to focus on, in part two, how to actually give momentum to these goals. But right now, I just want you to really focus on this part, just getting it all out on paper. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, we hope you have a luxurious day.